There have been scores of main and featured cast members throughout Saturday Night Live's illustrious 48 and counting seasons. Some became household names during their tenure on the late-night comedy institution, while others only achieved that status after seemingly sinking amidst the show's notoriously competitive and stressful environment. Others disappeared almost without notice, their one big shot on the launching pad that SNL has become over the decades, fizzling out in a nondescript series of tiny roles and desultory goodnight waves from home base at Rockefeller Center. But who, among this dizzying and varied collection of comic performers, were truly the best of the best? Well, strap in as we run down the greatest cast members in Saturday Night Live history. The rules for this ranking are relatively straightforward, considering only each performer's time on the show, and not anything they did before or afterward to earn greater acclaim and/or fame. Such a system leaves out ringers from the 1984 to 1985 season like Martin Short, Billy Crystal, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest, whose pre- and post-SNL work is much more significant, as well as unimpeachably important figures like Tina Fey, Seth Meyers, and Amy Poehler, whose time as head writers and/or anchors on the Weekend Update desk are considered separate from the cast ensemble concept. It also sets aside those talented performers who, after being let go from the show, showed their true talents elsewhere. Sorry to Joan Cusack, Michaela Watkins, Jenny Slate, Casey Wilson, Damon Wayans, Sarah Silverman, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Tim Robinson, and others. You know who you are. Now that that's all settled, let's get to the list and the inevitable arguments. Just remember, if your favorite didn't make it, they were definitely at number 25. 24. Chris Parnell, 8 seasons, 1998 to 2006. Can you really be called one of the best cast members of all time if you were fired twice during your time on Saturday Night Live? If you're bulletproof everyman Chris Parnell, you can. Possessed of a sonorous performer's cadence that could switch registers from smarmy to silky as the sketch demanded, Parnell was the definition of the all-star utility player during his time on the show. Able to essay deadpan commercial pitchmen like Phil Hartman, plumb the depths of deliberately irritating weirdos like Will Forte, and anchor any number of quiz, talk, and news shows, Parnell had a sly, gleaming look in his eyes that suggested a lot more strangeness than his placid outer shell promised. 23. Jason Sudeikis, 9 seasons, 2005 to 2013. There have been a fair number of Satans in Saturday Night Live history, but none so captured the essence as a performer than Jason Sudeikis' affably sinister Prince of Darkness. With his unassuming Midwestern handsomeness, Sudeikis threatens to get lost in the shuffle of blandly handsome SNL white guys, until he doesn't. Recurring character Satan breezily explains all the delightful torments he's proudest of. Hey, did you get that rash I sent you? He asks anchor Seth Meyers happily at one point, while ultimately taking offense at something deviously evil we humans have done. His devil's "what you see is what you get" assholery coming off, in Sudeikis' hands, as irresistibly preferable in comparison. 22. Aidy Bryant, 10 seasons, 2012 to 2022. Bold, bubbly, and brilliantly adaptable, Aidy Bryant joined Cecily Strong and Kate McKinnon to form an unbeatable SNL trio during their time together. Blessed with a fearsome theatricality and a sweetly silly demeanor, Bryant slipped assuredly into every role with an infectious energy and a mischievous glint. While an expert at playing insecure teens and tweens with a delicate comic sensitivity, Bryant clearly relished knocking broader characters into the cheap seats. Whether playing Tinker Bell's crude bruiser of a sister or belting out the self-pinned waterbed store jingle her proprietor husband has to constantly explain away. 21. Fred Armisen, 11 seasons, 2002 to 2013. Like co-star Maya Rudolph, Fred Armisen is a comedy multi-instrument, his real-life musical talents combining with a limitless desire to channel his inner weirdness. A Fred Armisen sketch is often an exercise in escalating irritation, a comedy of manners where his character's out-there nature disrupts audience comfort and expectation. Chameleonic in appearance and manner, Armisen could play it straight as well, but is best known for characterizations that skirt insufferableness, often to the point where the premise circles around again to begrudging hilarity.